So Oliver, we've got some news today about consumer companies and pharma companies. They have divisions where they kind of overlap here. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So two developments today. First, we've had firm news from Reckitt Benckiser that they're going to spin off Reckitt Benckiser Pharmaceuticals, RBP as they call it. This is a fairly small pharmaceutical business within the bigger Reckitt group. Reckitt's mainly consumer healthcare and other kind of consumer products. It's going to spin this off and demerge it directly to shareholders. So if you're a shareholder in Reckitt, you will end up with one Reckitt share and one share in RBP. So that's definitely going ahead. The other piece of news we have is that GlaxoSmithKline, the big pharma company, Andrew Whitty, the chief executive there, has said that maybe at some point in the future it might consider spinning off its consumer business. So both of these two big companies admitting that maybe consumer healthcare and pharmaceuticals don't necessarily live within the bigger group, albeit they're both at very different stages.
And what do you think? Should they be together, or what do you think about that?
Well, there are strong reasons to suggest not. There are some similarities between them. Both rely to a certain extent on R&D and need to get regulatory clearance for their products. But if you're a consumer healthcare business, your customers usually are big chains of pharmacies or increasingly supermarkets. And it's all about retailing, it's all about branding and marketing, that kind of thing. That's really what your sales pitch is. If you're a pharmaceutical company, it's all about the R&D, it's all about the molecular development, and it's all about selling your products to doctors or to state-funded healthcare agencies. It's a very different customer group. So they are quite different business models. There might also be a valuation reason to split them up. Consumer healthcare companies tend to trade on higher multiples than pharmaceutical companies. So maybe you could unlock some value by splitting them up.
Okay, and specifically on Reckitt, what do you think? What do we do here?
Well, the Reckitt demerger was widely expected. They said last October they were going to do a review of this business. The Reckitt Benckiser pharmaceutical business is mainly a product called Suboxone, which is a treatment for drug addiction. It's done quite well, but it's facing some generic threats. The numbers they put out this morning showed that profits were down in the first half of this year as opposed to the same period last year. So facing a lot of very sort of familiar pharmaceutical challenges. The demerger was expected and will allow Reckitt to focus on its core consumer businesses, but it'll take a year or perhaps more to complete.
Okay, very interesting. Thanks very much, Oliver.